It's over. We're not going back to Middle Earth again. And you know what? Kinda glad. Yeah, I might be that arsehole that is going to come out and say he did not like the last Hobbit movie. I don't want to be that arsehole. I wanted to love this movie. I wanted it to be a great trip. It's our last trip to Middle Earth, at least imagined by Peter Jackson until it gets rebooted again in 10 years. But he has done such a good job for 5 movies of creating Middle Earth as Tolkien imagined it the best possible way on film. Like, no one else could have done it this well. The first 3 Lord of the Rings movies were absolutely fantastic. And then the first and second Hobbit movies, they were okay. They weren't as good, but they were still really, really fun movies, and you still believe that you were in Middle Earth. Peter Jackson took us there. And in this movie, The Battle of the Five Armies, I really, really feel like he missed a step here. I just didn't like this movie. And I'm sad. When I saw the original 3 Lord of the Rings movies, I was blown away. To this day, those are 3, and I don't even class them as 3 movies. They're just one long 12-hour experience, especially if you have the massive special edition Blu-ray edition, which I have, and you put each movie on back to back and it goes for like 12 hours. It's ridiculous, but my God, is it just the most gripping and awesome 12 hours of your life. It's fantastic. And then he's doing The Hobbit, and I was like, okay, sure, that's fine. And I'm going to be the nerd right now, or the bookworm, whatever. I know the source material. I read The Hobbit in primary school. I know it so well. And I read The Lord of the Rings as well. And the thing is, he did such a good job. I understand where he had to cut things out in Lord of the Rings, but he's done the opposite in The Hobbit. He's added shit in. And it's just like, it's so unnecessary sometimes. Okay. I'm going to calm down and just try to review this movie. Okay, so The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, not There and Back Again. No. The Battle of the Five Armies. The Battle of the Five Armies. Okay. This is going to be a long review. The Battle of the Five Armies picks up right where the Desolation of Smaug finished. And Smaug's off to Lake Town, and he's going to fuck shit up. And he does. And then that sort of resolves itself. And then the Lonely Mountain is up for grabs, and Thorin is just in there straight away. He's after it. He wants it. And he starts to get the dragon sickness. He's getting obsessed with treasure and gold, and he's trying to find the Arkenstone because it's the thing, it's the symbol of his kingdom, and he needs it. And guess who has it? Bilbo, the thief. He has it. And he doesn't want... You can see there's times he wants to give it back to Thorin. He's like, oh, this doesn't belong to me. It belongs to him, because all the other dwarves are like, yeah, it is the symbol of our kingdom. It's a symbol of our kin. It's us. We need it back to sort of solidify that we have control of the Lonely Mountain again. It's ours. And you can see Bilbo, he's just like, nah, man, no, he's going crazy, and if I give this to him, he's going to go mad with power. So while all this is happening, the residents of Lake Town are now sort of have to move because their town got absolutely wrecked by Smaug. Smaug. I love saying that, Smaug. It's fantastic. And if you remember in the previous movie, Thorin sort of promised them a little bit of, the gold and shit and there's a lot of gold. He promised them. So once their town got destroyed, which is kind of a spoiler, but you saw it happen. It happened in the trailer. It's not a spoiler. They now are trying to find refuge in there with them because they have nowhere else to go. They have no food. They have no shelter. They've got nothing. So they need somewhere to go to feel safe. And because Thorin's gone batshit friggin' crazy, he says no. So now you have the lake. They've taken up residency in Dale, just sort of, temporarily, just to sort of give them a bit of protection. But then you have the elves, and the elves have come to sort of help, but at the same time, that head elf, the dickhead in the second movie, I can't remember what his name is, it escapes me right now, but he, there's gems or jewels or something inside the mountain that belong to the elves, and he wants them back, so he is trying to claim part of the mountain as well. So now you have 3 factions of the 5 after what lies in the mountain, or just access to the mountain. But he's blocked up the wall. He's caging himself in there. He doesn't want anyone to get in, and he doesn't want anyone of his kin to leave. And then you have the orcs as well. The orcs, yeah, there's a lot of them, a lot of orcs. There's 2 armies of orcs actually. There's one by orc number 1, the dude with the hook hand. And then the other one, orc number 2, the dude with the razor blades in his face. I can't remember their names because they're confusing. So anyway, one orc has one army and the other orc has another army, and they're both trying to converge on the mountain as well to kill the dwarves and just kill everyone, I guess, because they're orcs. That's what they do. They just don't like anybody. They just kill everybody. And then you have the side story with Gandalf. At the end of the last movie, we saw he was captured by the necromancer that's not Sauron at all. Oh wait, it is Sauron. Of course it's Sauron. You freaking kidding me? So they rescue him or something. What's her name? Kate Blanchett. Galadriel. She shows up and saves him, and so does Elrond, and so does Saruman. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. So now Gandalf's free, and he knows that the orc army is heading towards the mountain, so he rides off to go and warn everyone that they're coming, and of course he gets there and no one believes him. This is turning into a spoiler review. Fuck it, it's a spoiler review, because this is just, I have to talk about this. I'm going to maybe do a regular review after this, but this is going to be a spoiler review, because I just have to talk about it. It's so frustrating. So you would think, Gandalf, he's a wizard. Everyone knows who he is. And they don't believe a thing he says. He's like, the orc army is coming. No, they're not. Yes, they are. I saw them. No, they're not. Yes, they are. I saw them. No, they're not. We'll be fine. You idiots. They're coming. You fucking idiots. It's shit like that that really just frustrates the hell out of me. It's like, why don't you listen to Gandalf? He's a wizard. He has no reason to lie to you. So anyway, the elves and the humans try to come to an agreement with the dwarves so they can get access to the mountain for shelter and just general human needs. And Thorin just bees a dick about it, and he's like, nah, I will have war. Oh good, there's an army of elves and there's 12 of you, but no, he has a trick up his sleeve. He has his cousin, voiced by, I think it was Billy Connolly, or someone just doing a really, really cheesy Scottish accent. I think it was Billy Connolly. Anyway, he shows up with a dwarven army. So now there's... Is that 5? I think that's 5. Dwarves, elves, humans, orcs, and I guess the other army of orcs. Yeah, that's 5. So now they've all converged on the mountain, and this is the part where it was actually pretty goddamn good, because we got the battle of the 5 armies. And yeah, I mean, I could just tell though the entire way through the watching of this movie, it's just like Peter Jackson's trying to do Return of the King again. He's doing Return of the King again. He's trying to make it that epic. It's not going to be that epic. It's not Return of the King. It's not the Battle of Minas Tirith. It's not even the Battle of Helm's Deep. It's a turf war over a mountain. And you're trying to make it into this huge, crazy thing that it's not really, and it just... Okay, I will say, special effects, awesome. As always, you can never sort of doubt that in a... Whoever he is, Peter Jackson. God damn it, I'm so angry. I nearly said Michael Bay then, I swear to God. I'm not comparing the two, I'm just saying there was similarities. Anyway, so they're all fighting, and the orc army shows up, and then the other orc army shows up using these huge friggin' worm things that tunnel through the mountain. And I'm just like... This is the Eagles all over again, man. Just use them to tunnel into the mountain instead of using your fucking Hobbit. Where were the worm things when you wanted to get inside of the mountain? Just tunnel into the mountain, grab the Arkenstone, and, I don't know, piss Smaug off. Who cares? So anyway, the orcs tunnel through one of the side mountains that isn't the mountain that they want. And out comes the orc army. So now you got the orc army and the elves and the dwarves, and then Thorin's just sort of locked himself inside his fucking mountain, not caring. He's just like, screw it, let him just kill each other. Sure. It's my cousin, but, you know, whatever. It's fine. What a dick. So he is, at this point, well and truly just consumed by his sickness. Whatever it is. Dragon sickness. There you go. Dragon sickness. He's got the dragon sickness. Oh, the dragon sickness. Oh, no. No remedy for that. But anyway, he sort of has this weird self-actualization of, you know, he's being a dick. He realizes he's being a dick, so he stops being a dick. And then he helps. And for some reason, the addition of those freaking 13 dwarves helps somehow. And they come out of the mountain and start killing orcs. And it's just... What? 13 extra dudes. There was a whole army of dwarves out getting their ass kicked. And another 13. Is that going to help? Apparently it does. Apparently they killed some people. I don't know. That was the other thing too. Because the orcs wear like silver grey sort of steel plating. And the dwarves wore sort of silver grey steel plating. So there was points I didn't know who the hell was killing who. It just drove me crazy. I'm trying to watch it like, why are the elves killing the dwarves? Oh no, that's an orc. No? Yes. I don't know. I just didn't know. It was just, put them in something else that isn't like, when you're watching on a screen, there's just shit happening fucking everywhere. You need some point of reference for the people watching it to go, okay, they over there, they are killing these guys for whatever reason. But if you got another group of guys, this is what the problem is when you have 5 armies. If they come dressed in the same clothes as one of the other armies, they're not just going to be pissed off. They're going to look the same and then probably accidentally kill each other. Or their allies will kill them or something. And that's what I thought was happening. I'm just like, what the fuck? Anyway, moving on. Legolas is in this movie again for whatever friggin' reason. And then there was the chick, Kate from Lost. So Legolas and Kate from Lost, who neither of them were in the book, have their own side story. Great. So they go off and they find the second orc army at some other base. And then they rush back to warn everyone. And they get back just in time to warn them as that other army freaking shows up. So thanks. That was great help. So anyway, now all this is going on. Thorin's out in the battlefield. He's gotten a little bit better. And then we didn't see Bilbo for so long. He just sort of he pops up when he's needed. Now that Thorin's sort of cured of his dragon sickness and all the dwarves are out there, then they're sort of winning. The other army's like on its way. They know it's coming. But they decide to go after the head orc, Hookhand. They go after Hookhand. So he's perched on top of one of these sort of side mountains next to the other mountain sort of thing, you know, over here. Controlling his army with flags. Literally with like big flags and a kite. I don't know. It was confusing. So Thorin, Bilbo, Killy and Philly, I think, are the one that like has the hots for the elf and the other one that's his brother. Those 4, they go up there to try and kill him and take him down because, you know, cut the head off the snake dies, sort of thing. So they get up there just as the second army arrives in time to ambush them and take them prisoner, and then one of the dwarves gets stabbed. I can't remember which one. The one that isn't the hot guy that is after the elf, his brother, he dies. So then Hot Dwarf goes up there and then he fights some guys and then he ends up getting killed. I told you this was a spoiler review. It is a spoiler review now. I'm just going to go through the entire movie and just tell you why the fuck it just wasn't good. So anyway, while all that's happening, Thorin finally has his big showdown with Hookhand. And they fight and stuff happens, and then Thorin, you think, has got him. He gets him on this big waterfall that's frozen because it's snow. And then he has him, he tricks him, which was actually a very, very cool sequence because he has this big mace thing that he's like trying to whack, and as he's doing it, he's breaking all of the ice around him. And then Thorin gets the bright idea to pick up the big mallet thing and throw it at him, and Hookhand catches it and then sinks, which I thought was actually pretty goddamn genius. and he sinks and he goes under the ice, and then you see him like, it's been done a million times. Like you see the level of ice and then the water, and then if he's sort of floating along under, you can sort of see him, and he's got his eyes closed, and you think, oh, everything's going to be fine, and then Thorin's like walking on top of where he is floating, and then he opens his eyes, somehow manages to bust his way through the ice, and then they both sort of died. Thorin got stabbed, and then he stabbed Hookhand, or it was the other way around. But anyway, they both end up getting stabbed, and then Thorin died. You know what? I didn't care. In Lord of the Rings, whenever a character died, no matter how sort of minor or major they were, like Boromir dying, that was sad. But even when Theoden died, I felt it right here. I cared about this character. And just, they didn't make me care about Thorin. He's supposed to be like the dude. He's the head dwarf. He's the king under the mountain. And he died in Bilbo's arms, and Bilbo's there, and Bilbo's just like, don't go. And Thorin's like, I have to go. And he's like, you're my friend. And he's like, you're my friend too. And then they just fucking died. And then lo and behold, the climax. Guess who shows up? The motherfucking Eagles show up, of course. Once again, they are a cure-all in the world of Middle-earth. Shit goes down. Need some help? Call the Eagles. And the Eagles show up, wreck fucking shop, and then, I don't know, the good guys won? Or something. I don't know. Why aren't they, like, in charge of everything? That would be so much better. If they were, like, running Middle-earth, it'd be like, that dude's a bit of a problem. I'm going to put my giant talon through his face. That sort of shit. So then we get to the point where I thought, ooh, there's going to be so many fake endings here. There's so much they could do. And they sort of faked out on one, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't like the 5 fake endings at the end of Return of the King had, which, honestly, I don't mind, because they sort of finished, like, each character arcs had their own little epilogue, and it finished up. And I even though it like faded to black each time, you just like fade to black. Expect credits. No. Another scene. Fade to black. Expecting credits. No. Fade to black. Expecting credits. No. And then you finally got the credits. This one sort of just like had a half fade, and then there was like a little bit extra where Bilbo goes home, and that was actually one of the funniest scenes, because he gets back, and because he's been gone for so long, they're hocking his shit. Like, they're auctioning off all of his stuff, which was mildly amusing. So he gets home, and all his stuff's gone, and then we get and I'm going to talk about this in a second, all the little references to the Lord of the Rings that were so unnecessary. But we get him there. He's home, finally, back in Bag End, and he reaches in, and he pulls out the ring, and he looks at it, and then he transforms into old Bilbo, and it's the morning of his birthday, and Gandalf just showed up. So the loop, it all connects together. And that was the real issue that I had with this, was the fact that Peter Jackson tried so hard to connect these stories in every way that wasn't, I guess, natural. It didn't feel right. It felt so forced and so just pushed on you. It's just like, this is a prequel to Lord of the Rings. This is a prequel to Lord of the Rings. This is, remember those 3 great movies? Well, here's these 3 semi-mediocre ones, but they connect to those movies, so just put references fucking everywhere. Just throw them in there. It felt like being force-fed something that was just like, no, just don't. You have a great story in The Hobbit. You made a mistake by padding it out into 3 friggin' movies, which you didn't need to do, and now you have all this time for filler. And that filler is just giving us references and references and references and references and references to everything. And it pissed me off. It just pissed me off. There's one scene right at the end where Dickhead Elf, the head elf from the second movie, I can't remember what his name is. He's Legolas's dad. That's right, he's Legolas's dad. Yeah, okay. So Legolas, who wasn't in the books, he says he doesn't want to go back to the woods with the rest of the elves. So his dad's like, oh, go to the north. Find the Dunedain Rangers. There's a young one there named Strider. Legolas is all like, oh, so what's his real name? That's something you'll have to discover for yourself. Fucking seriously? It's Aragorn. Just say his goddamn name. There was a person behind me in the movie theater whispering every time there was a reference to Lord of the Rings, he would whisper to his girlfriend because it was such a vague, weird reference that like anyone that hadn't seen or like just sort of glossed over Lord of the Rings wouldn't get. But like, okay, if you're in the fucking cinema to see The Hobbit, you probably know a little bit about Lord of the Rings, and you know that Strider is Aragorn. And it was just like, why even bother putting the reference in there if you're going to make such a half-assed job about it? You can't even say his real goddamn name. Oh, no, his name is Strider. Bullshit. His name is fucking Aragorn. And you just say that. If you're going to put these stupid references all the way through this goddamn movie, just go all the way. Just go all in. Just go all in. Just fucking say it. His name is Aragorn. He was the king of Gondor. Really? Yes, he's the lost heir of the Gondor throne. There's some wanker on it right now called Theoden? No. What was it? Twat's name? Okay, I'm so angry at it right now. I can't... Denethor. I got it. Yep, I'm with it now. The rage is there, but there's bits are coming through. Denethor. You know, some dickhead named Denethor's on the throne right now. But no, he's the rightful heir. Just say that. Just fucking say that. Because we already know. It's not like you can go back in time and release these 3 movies before The Lord of the Rings. It's happened. We know everything. You don't need to put these stupid clues in there that we already know the answer to. Oh my god. And that isn't the only one. Like I said before, the Gandalf side story where he gets captured by the, what they call it, the necromancer that's not Sauron. Well, it's fucking Sauron. They even have the eye. The eye actually pops up in the fucking movie. It's like, well, that's not subtle. Like at all. Why do that? He's there. The eye is fucking there. And then he gets like banished. And then we get the friggin' the Saruman turn. Sort of. You see, it's like it's hinted at so much because like he banishes Sauron's eye to Mordor or some shit. And then you see the stoner wizard, the one that's smoking a bit too much of the green stuff, you know what I'm talking about? Him rocks up, saves Gandalf with the rest of the Elrond and what have you. Anyway, and Saruman's all like, leave Sauron to me. I will take care of him. Bullshit, you're going to turn. So there it is. There's my spoiler-filled and probably hate-spewing review of The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. I feel better. I do. I've got that off my chest now. Now I can go and do like a regular review and put that up as well as this one. I really wanted to like this movie. I wanted to love this movie because it's our last trip to Middle-earth with Peter Jackson at the helm. And for 5 movies, he did such a great job of making it come to life. He created this amazing world that we could get lost in and we could go to, and we're just like, wow, we are in Middle-earth. And he used the environment of New Zealand so well. And he made Middle-earth real for so many Tolkien fans. And this movie it destroyed a lot of the magic. And for that, I'm a little bit angry, as you can probably tell. What did you guys think? Let me know. Down there. And I guess, as always, guys, I'll catch you later.
I can see 5